My most humble pronounce at the lotus feet of our beautiful Lord, Sairam to all. To continue the story with the orphanage, uh, there was these children coming to my school. I told you were from very poor backgrounds, and they had not been inoculated or any vaccinations done for them, and they lived in surroundings where they did not have clean drinking water. So I had some doctor friends and I asked them what could be done about it. They used to come like once in 2 3 months. I had a very close friend, the late Dr. Shankarappa, who was a very close family friend. His wife worked with me in the Syndicate Bank when I was the manager here. So he came one day and he did a medical camp and he checked up all the children. And most of them, he said, did not have any serious illness, just needed vitamins and a few things like that. And anyway, they were getting healthy food in the school. The children were given, as soon as they came to school in the first break, they were given some fruits and some peanuts or something mixture, something small, a snack to eat. And then at 12:30 they had a sumptuous lunch. They were given rice and sambar and vegetables. Every day was a different vegetable, and they were allowed to eat as much as they wanted. The first few weeks I found out that some of the children would eat so much, the rice would be piled up in front of them. Not even an adult could eat that much rice. But in a few days I found out that the quantity reduced and it became normal when the children realized that they would be given food every day. They did not need to store the food in their stomach. And then the teachers who were in the school also ate the same food that was served to the children. Then about 3:30, before they left the school, they were again given some biscuits or some cookies and sometimes fruit. Whatever was available was all given to the children before they left. And I had arranged 4 or 5 autos that collected the children from the poor Sainagar area and from Puttaparthi. Then there was some children that came in from another village, Enamalapalli, and also some children from our neighboring village, Brahmanapalli. So these autos brought them to school, and then in the evening they collected them and took them back to their homes. So this was the normal routine in the school. The teachers were all very happy working in our school. In those days, the salaries were not much, but the staff, they were very happy. I had some ayahs to cook and also sometimes to clean the children. If they came dirty to the school, they would be given a bath and a change of clothing were provided for them. The big donor and the collector for a school was my very close friend Kala. She worked for KLM Airlines in those days, and every time somebody was coming to Bangalore or any devotee was coming in a flight, she would have huge boxes of goodies for the children. She would send clothes and toys and even Nike shoes of all sizes. There was no end of gifts that were coming from her. And she also sometimes collected money on the flight for the school. She spoke about it to everybody, I think, who were interested to hear. And one time she said that she received a huge donation of $9,999, some divine number like that. So this was when the school work was going on, and I needed the money to build the school. And of course, the biggest donor was my Divine Mother Swamini, who sent all the funds for the Sai Ashritam home as well as for the school. And I had some close friends, Liba, and two sisters from the UK who were also a very big part of my school. They were also involved in coming whenever they were here. They would every day come to the school, teach the children, play games with them, and it was a wonderful, happy school. the male teachers, took out the children to play basketball and all kinds of games. They had sports and races and everything. At this time, I had a friend, Dr. Shankarappa, who was the husband of one of my colleagues in the bank. He had his own hospital in Kottacheru. So one day I asked him to come and check up the children, and he did all that. And he said there was no, but he said since his children have not been vaccinated, it is better to give them an hepatitis B injection. So he said all of them need it, and it would be good if you could arrange the vials for it. And I don't know. At that time, I had two other friends. I had a friend. They were twins, Tim and Trev, from the UK. They were also living in one of my apartments, and I just put out the word that we need this hepatitis vaccination for the children. And within a week's time, they called some friend of theirs in Sweden, and these vials for this injection came from Sweden. So they gave it to me, and then I called the doctor, and we had more than enough to inoculate all our children, and we also gave away some so that the other poor schools near Puttaparthi could have their children also vaccinated with this. So this is how Swami gave this medical protection for the children. And another time, the school here runs from June to end of March. And then April, May is vacation. This is the same in Swami schools also. So it was April and my school was closed, and we told them, the school will open only in June. One day when I was walking out of Sai Plaza going for darshan, and there were like 5 or 6 of them sitting in front of the hotel. And then I asked them, what happened? Why are you here? I told them there is no school. Then they looked at me with downcast eyes and said, Amma, we have no food at home. See, these children were getting food in the school. That was their main meal, And in the evening, if their parents or whoever, some of them didn't even have parents. It was an old grandmother or a relative who sometimes could manage to find food for them. So I was sort of, very moved when I heard this, and immediately with some of my teachers, we arranged for sacks of rice and whatever needed, provisions to be sent to this 5 or 6 very poor children. So this went on for the 2 months that the children did not have school. So, so many things were revealed to me when we were doing this, how little we know about the misfortune and the poverty of the people around us. And the other thing, the children learned English, they became very good in their studies. And it was like Swami allowed me for a few years to give them a life, to give them, like a startup for their education. Of course, I could not continue this because many things happened later. And because I had done the school and it was all coming out of my money that I had received to do my apartments and the cottages here in Brahmanapalli, I was not collecting money from anybody. The only persons who were part of this were my very close friends, mainly Swamini, who gave the money to do all this work. So I was spending my own money, like 2-3 lakhs a month went for the food and the transportation and the teachers and the provisions and everything, and I didn't mind it at all. So all this created a situation for me where I became the target for a huge tax raid. More of that to continue in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this episodes with the children, and it was one of the happiest times of my life. Liba always says, we cherish the 7 years that we had with the children. It was unforgettable how, and most of the credit for this work goes to Durgesh, that little boy who opened my heart. More of his story will come in another video. Sai Ram, please share my stories. Thank you so much for watching. Swami bless you all.